It all started with a faulty backup camera and a trip to this Nissan dealership.
They said that they needed to keep the car probably for a couple of days, and they offered me a loaner, and I said sure.
An experience that ended with Frank Statti calling police later that night.
Well, my initial thought was, yeah, maybe somebody stole the thing.
Statti thought the worst when he checked the new tracking app on his phone. He just agreed to let his new insurance company monitor his driving. He could also see his car remotely, and it was far from the Nissan dealership.
We called the police, and they were flabbergasted as well.
The Altima was traveling well above the speed limit on Highway 401, at one point reaching 148 kilometers per hour. Destination, 90 kilometers away. Police found Statti's car on this street in Woodstock. Turns out it wasn't stolen after all. It was driven here by a dealership employee. When Statti went back to the dealership for an explanation from the service manager the next day, he didn't get an apology. Instead, Statti says he was blamed.
He kicked me out of the office, and he said that he was going to call the police, that I was tracking his employee legally.
I had permission to take the vehicle home, and we informed it was out of town, and there's 3 witnesses to that.
Statti says he didn't authorize the dealership to let its service technician drive the car home, let alone make a 180-kilometer round trip and at high speed.
No, no, of course not, because that was that was for a couple seconds. I agree, and I don't know. Again, I wasn't driving it, so I cannot answer that question.
Technicians do sometimes take vehicles home with permission so they can road test for problems. Nissan Canada told us it's now arranging for another dealership to repair Statti's rear camera.
It seems as though we have no rights, and we don't know what these mechanics and dealerships are doing with their car.
He's left with a camera that doesn't work after a mechanic's high-speed road trip, one that may have his insurance company believing he's a driver who takes risks. Sean O'Shea, Global News, Milton.